Nothing up my sleeves. Check it out. I'm wearing my London shirt. You see it's torn up here somewhere. It's coming apart. It's old. It's from 1997 or 8, somewhere in there. And I'm drinking a Canadian beer. And the only reason I have this shirt is because I was there. And I don't normally buy shirts from someplace if I haven't been there. Like if you're going to a concert, you like to have the numbers on the back, where they were, the dates, the cities, things like that. I'm not a souvenir guy, but if I like something when I'm somewhere, I'll buy it or something like that. Can't find my Polska shirt. That disappeared in China. Where I lived in Bath, England for about 4.5 months. And when I look back, while I was living there, I realized, it's this town, it's got 7 hills. It's where the Roman baths were. It says, they say when the Romans came in, it reminded them of some place in back home. And so they had baths built in their Roman baths, and they were uncovered through the years after, the ground keeps growing upon itself, and they did some architectural stuff or archaeological stuff, and they found these Roman baths where the Myrna, they have the goddess of water in there and all this stuff, and they take you down in there, and you don't get to get in because it's poisonous water now, on a hallowed ground, I suppose. But I said there were so many bars in that place, I hadn't been to them all. If I were to choose another place to live, it would be Bath, England. Seemed like a really nice place. A lot of hills, a lot of walk down in, walk back up, jerk off at the bus station. I don't know what you do. What do people do these days if they can't just get where they're going without a bus? I don't know. Then they close the buses down at 11, and what are you gonna do? I don't know. But I've got this shirt, and it makes me think, England seems like a really nice place to live. At least a place in England looks like a very nice place to live. So I got the shirt. And it occurred to me today, I had a flashback of a time when I was living in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I was 12 miles from my workplace. And if you weren't in a car, and I didn't have my car at the time because, there was trouble. There are no buses that go out to my place of work. It's like 6 miles away or something before you can get to a place where you can get on a bus that will take you the other 6 miles home. So there was one morning, and I was working midnights. So I'm walking. I didn't have my car. And I'm walking, and I'd always go by this cemetery on the way into work and on the way home from work and all that. And there's this old cemetery out in the fields there. And I said, I'm stopping, I'm gonna take a look, because I grew up next to cemeteries. I've always lived by cemeteries, and I always enjoyed the peace. It's like a park for adults, No kids running around fucking climbing all over shit, just me. I've got pictures of me on tombs. I climb all over everything. I'm like crab lice. You never know where you're gonna find me. So I walk in to check out the cemetery, and it's old tombstones, old. And I'm walking, I'm looking at the dates, and I'm like, wow, what were those people doing then? Wow. And these were really old tombstones, and they're, at the time of the Revolution, there's a guy that in 1776, showing his birth date and his death date in 1776, he would have been 40 years old, and I was about 40 at the time. And I looked at this thing and I said, this is a guy at the time of the United States Revolution and the framers of the Constitution and the founding fathers, and however you want to put it, just saying, I don't want to pay you anymore. I came to work for you, but now that I've been here long enough and you've been treating me pretty well, I think I want it to be mine. So they fought the British. It's like, And so I'm looking at a tombstone where a guy has grown up in a certain way of life, and suddenly there's a war. And you go, oh, and I thought, what the fuck, man? This guy was a grown-up when this thing happened. He has ideas about how he's seen things, what he considers to be right and wrong, and now they're gonna fucking start a war on something. What was he seeing at the time? It seemed like such a mystery to me. This is at least 10 years ago that I'm thinking this. And I realized today, as it flashed into my mind again, that memory, I know what that guy was thinking. Not necessarily what he was thinking, but his life and the way things were. It's a gift, what's happening right now. We get to see the middle times and the end times, what it all led up to make the 1776 thing happen. We are the guy at the right age that has known life to be pretty good, and all of a sudden a bunch of politicians started fucking things up. We're like, what the fuck, man? Just trying to get through the day. I'm doing the work. I'm not a slacker. And now you're gonna fucking have bombs coming in on us and people fighting each other. Can't even talk to the fucking neighbor because everybody's got a fucking opinion. Even though they might call it an opinion, they consider it to be preordained knowledge. So you can't even fucking talk to them anymore. It's getting easier. People are starting to see the way. That is just a line of bullshit. For whatever reason. Fill in the blanks. And so now, just as a watcher, somebody who does my part to keep shit out of my fucking face, I got people getting in my face. I understand what it was to be a full-grown person living in a civilized society when some people just decide they're gonna start a fucking fight with someone because they want more. You can never get enough of more in this plane of existence. Once you've got enough money, you want more of something. Once you get enough power, you want more of something. And sometimes more is less. If you look at Puta over there, he wants it all destroyed because he's had as much of the power as he needs to realize that this doesn't mean anything really either. And so now he'd rather just nuke the whole fucking place because he's on his way out. Maybe we should vote to give ourselves back to England. They seem friendly enough when we come around, and they've still got bars I haven't seen.